No Man's Sky has just reached the highest peak concurrent player numbers it has seen in half a decade. And even that number is only the players on Steam, the console numbers being a little bit harder to come by. And it's moved from one of the most review-bombed games in history to being rated as very positive on Steam now. And I'd not be shocked at all if it managed to climb all the way up to overwhelmingly positive in the very near future. Hello Games has been showing a tenacity and dedication that deserves praise. I still won't trust Sean Murray himself, because he is a lying liar who lies, but Hello Games as a developer entity, absolute high praise. And they did it all without charging a single player a cent more for any update, or DLC, or cosmetics, or anything at all. There is no way to spend more money on this game, even if you wanted to. They just keep giving you more stuff. And that stuff keeps arriving brimmed, flowing over with content and enhancements and fixes. Hello again, I am Blunty, and today, after I just spent the lion's share of the waking hours of my entire weekend completely absorbed by No Man's Sky once more and its new 5.0 update, I want to talk about if it's time for people to come back to it, especially those who got burned early on in that disastrous launch, or indeed, if it is worth it now for new players to finally buy it and sink their teeth in after all of this time. And the short version of that answer is yes, No Man's Sky is now fairly called by many one of, if not the, best space game out there. Don't even get me started on the space game which shall not be named. Scam! Now, over the last 8 years, No Man's Sky's redemption arc has consisted of over 24 named updates, and we just got the 5th major numbered update, itself already promising yet more to come because they called it Worlds Part 1. And Hello Games have largely done it with their heads down. No more big promises, no big claims, no campaigns or media buys or interviews, basically zero marketing at all except for organic stuff coming out of their socials. And they've been largely stealth dropping the updates. There's usually a little teasing from Sean Murray himself on Twitter that something is coming soon-ish, and all of a sudden, bam! Here's the update, here's a website, here's a patch document that scrolls on forever of pages and pages of what has been added and what's new and what's changed and what's been fixed, and oh, by the way, all of it is available to play right now, there's no waiting, it's just here. Hello Games just put the work in and let it stand on its own feet and be judged on its own merits. They learned that lesson the hard way 8 years ago. And this is the way it should be done. It is superb. It is very rewarding feeling. And 5.0, as I opened with, has been the biggest draw in years. People are flooding back to the game. Not since the 2.0 update, where people, hoped and dreamed the game would be redeemed. Back in 2019, has the game seen so many players all at once. And it's not just the old players, who come back for every new update. In my time with the game, I have been constantly seeing lots and lots of beginner ships docked at the Communal Anomaly Station. And sure, many of these ships will belong to long-lapsed players who decided to start a new save file for the big new update, because they've been away for so long, they thought, well, why not? But not all those ships are going to be returning players. The funny thing is, even with all the updates and a gobsmacking list of fixes and new content, etc., it's weirdly still broken in a lot of ways. Over the last 2 days alone, I have had no less than 3 known bugs in major quests, over the weekend streaming, that slammed the brakes on of progression and frustrated me. And, these are bugs that have been around for 5 years, or even more sometimes, which I discovered when I was searching for solutions. Thankfully, they're not actually too hard to work around, but they will stop you from playing, and you just have to go to Google to find out what the heck is going on and how to get around it and what you need to do next, because it's just so poorly explained and the quest text doesn't give you any clues at all. It's just, some old quests are still kind of badly made and awkward too. It reminded me a bit of the original Fallout 76 quests, which are also still in 76, even though that game has had its redemption too. The old quests are still there, and you still have to do them when you're a new player or you're starting a new save and everything, and I hate doing them. They're so dull. But there are a few quests like that still in No Man's Sky, is what I'm saying. And bizarrely, there's a years-old graphical glitch on PC too that they still haven't fixed. The only reflection setting in your graphic settings, the only one that works at all is the enhanced one. High reflections and even ultra reflections just don't work at all. It's a known issue, has been a known issue for an age, and it has never been fixed. It's bizarre. Not even the latest 5.0 update, which did overhaul a massive amounts of the game's other visual presentations. It's so weird to see what has been falling through the cracks when it comes to fixing stuff. The newer stuff, though, in No Man's Sky, the content, the quests, the new mechanics and everything, from the last couple of years or so especially, it's great fun. They've really found their feet now. This game has a proper identity all of its own. It knows what it is and it keeps doubling down on it, and it is fantastic to engage with. I was a pre-order customer back in the day, back in launch, and despite the game not being what we were promised it was, which was a pretty big part of the backlash, like the game wasn't complete trash at launch, it just wasn't anywhere near what we were told it was gonna be, so that made people angry, understandably so, including myself. But I still did enjoy a big chunk of time with it. I came back briefly for 2.0 in 2019, but left relatively uninspired to keep going with it, and I left it alone for a long time after that. Then the 4.0 update, named Waypoint, arrived. That was a huge update. I started a new save file for it, in fact. The same save I'm still using now in the 5.0 update, actually. And that was all back in October 2022. It was a large step up visually, and that addressed almost every mechanic in the game, making it better, faster, smoother, more user-friendly, a massive bump to quality of life features, and significantly more engaging and fun to use all around. It was a fantastic update. I had my time, I very much enjoyed it, and I moved on. I missed the next several major updates, but man, I've been going through a lot of what they delivered content-wise now, and I wish I had gone back sooner, because they are great fun. The 4.2 update, Interceptor it was called. It hit in April 2023. That brought an all-new ship class. The newly redesigned Sentinel ships could now be captured and purged and piloted. Along with it came new Sentinel multi-tools and even new Sentinel-inspired jetpacks, etc. and the like. And a bunch more lore and story to uncover about what they are and who they are and why they are. The 4.4 update, the Echoes update, in August 2023 pushed some of that stuff further forward, introducing new quest lines and story around a new secret society of stealth robot lifeforms, and they brought new stuff with them too, to craft and explore a new type of multi-tool altogether, these staff weapon things, and all new mechanics to engage with alongside all of that. The 4.6 update, the Orbital update, in March 2024, early this year. It brought to us, at last, a way to use ship parts that make up all of the other procedurally generated spaceships in the game, and let us break them apart and rebuild our own custom-made spaceships, even right down to the paint job. Along with that, a ground-up redesign for sleek new space stations which look amazing, and further expanding the frigate and support fleet functionality. All of that stuff is still a system I've barely touched at all, but I'm really looking forward to digging in, especially now after the 4.6 update. And now, in 5.0, it brings even more new stuff, much of which I covered in a video after the announcement late last week, but a lot of it was a massive immersion boost, making the game look and feel better. The planet and weather simulations are even deeper and richer now. And at least some of that seems to have been backported from Hello Games' upcoming game, Light No Fire, which is a more fantasy-themed game. It happens all on one planet, a simulation of the Earth itself, apparently, the entire Earth, if they're to be believed. But it seems to share a lot with No Man's Sky under the hood. And some of the work they've been doing on that game is now leaking back into No Man's Sky, it seems. And coming, most hope, and data miners seem to suggest, in just a day or two, a new expedition will launch. Expeditions are timed events which you and simultaneously other players all embark on a very specific guided adventure at the same time. A series of challenges that you need to progressively unlock and conquer, and unlike the normal game mode, everyone starts on the exact same planet in expeditions. And expeditions have exclusive rewards to get you to do cosmetics and exclusive equipment, and even ships. And because the expeditions are timed events, you can't get them once the expedition is done. They do apparently rerun shortened forms of the expeditions at the end of the year, but only sort of that year's expeditions and stuff. So yeah, the year's old expeditions and what they delivered, they're just gone now, which is a shame, really. But this new one, this will be my first expedition, and thankfully, one of the reasons I never did any before now, they've changed how they work. They changed how you engage with them. Because once upon a time, you needed to start a whole new, fresh save file for each one of every single expedition you did. Now, there's a terminal at the anomaly station where you can start from and then return to your existing save. You still have to start with nothing because, that's how they work. You got to build up and go through the adventure, starting from nothing. But you can take some resources with you to give you a bit of a head start now. And it's easier to claim your rewards back in your main save once you're done too. They just sort of come back with you if you want. Oh, and also you get to go in with your preset character and cosmetics, of course. So you get to look how you want to look without having to go through the start of the game and then find the appearance changer and then fix it all up again how you want it. So that's all nice, isn't it? Again, just smoothing everything out, quality of life changes, the same thing they've been doing for years. In fact, all over now, new players especially have a better onboarding than ever before. The new tutorial guide is better, the new systems are a lot less clumsy and easier to understand than they ever were. You've got a ton of customizable difficulty settings to tweak the experience to exactly how you want, and they're even dynamic, so you can change them on the fly in the middle of your game if you want, if you decide some setting isn't working for you, or you can just lock them down so you're not tempted to, cheat by turning down the difficulty when you hit something difficult, or you can even do a permadeath run if you like. And the game, even more than ever before, lets each player engage with as much or as little of the various ways to play as they like. Explorer, pirate, magnate, fleet captain, adventurer, homesteader, farmer. You really can roleplay very thoroughly in a lot of different ways and mix and match in a lot of different ways. The sandbox portion of the game, when it comes to that sort of stuff, is extremely flexible. So yes, that was the long form of the answer. If this game has ever piqued your interest, even slightly, there has never been a better time to jump on board. It is even on sale right now to tempt you even further at a deep discount, the deepest discount it's ever had, 60% off on Steam. And I actually didn't double check, but it's probably similar on the consoles, right? Have someone let me know in the down below. It is now, at the very least, the game we were promised, and oh, so much more piled on top of that. Just piled and piled and piled high on top of that. I wonder how many hours it'll have me for this time. I feel like this time around it might be a lot more than my other returns to the game, which have averaged, 50 to 80 hours-ish before I bounce off again. This time, it feels like it's going to be more. Over the last 4 days or so, I feel like I'm probably close to probably 60 or 70 hours pretty easily. I've been doing little else. When I said in the opening that my entire weekend got absorbed into this game, I mean it. Aside from answering a few emails and food and stuff, I've just been playing this game. Whether or not I've been streaming it, and then I play more after I stream it, and then I play a little bit before I stream it the next day, and then I stream it, and then I play a little bit more afterwards. I'm hooked again, guys. I love this. Space is fun. The final frontier, they say. I've heard that somewhere before. Can't remember where. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you found this interesting, useful, insightful, something. I think it was always to the patrons scrolling up above there. And I'll see you in space, I guess. Well, probably on the space station in space, because that's the multiplayer hub at the anomaly. You know what I mean.